Hey you guys, my very first YouTube video. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, and what better way to kick things off than to talk about a cash envelope system. If you are somebody that is interested in how to really just everyday life save money, ways to save for some of your bigger goals that you have, you're gonna want to consider subscribing to this channel so you don't miss anything, any ideas that might be of help to you. So today we're going to talk about a cash envelope system. So my name is Krista, by the way, don't want to be a random stranger. We are in the trenches right there with you guys right now, really working on some major financial goals. And one of the things that has really helped was starting a cash envelope system. For me, the way that my brain works is if I'm gonna start something new and it's totally foreign to me, it has to be super simple. And so I am gonna show you guys how to have your very own super simple cash envelope system. No nonsense, easy to follow so that you will actually stick to it. So what is a cash envelope system? Essentially for me, and the way that I do it is paying cash for everyday expenses. So I still use my card to pay for most things, for our mortgage, for most of our bills, even for gas in our cars and expenses like that that might arise. But for me, I keep it super simple in my cash envelope system, with it just being for those miscellaneous day-to-day expenses. So what do you need to start a cash envelope system? There are really great envelope systems that you can buy. They're beautiful, they're helpful. However, you don't need those things to get started. What you need is a pen. You need some cash and you need some envelopes. You can even if you don't have envelopes in your house, you know how you get those like in the mail, you get bills and they send you like an extra envelope? Just use those. Like, don't wait to start and feel like you need all these supplies. You don't. Just use what you have. For the purposes of my cash envelope system, all you need is 2 envelopes, okay? So one of these envelopes is gonna be for your groceries and your like paper products, consumables, but not like food. Do you know what I mean? The second envelope is going to be your fun money. So this is where pretty much everything else is going to come out of. So I want to break it down for you into the 2 envelopes. Let's start with your groceries. The first thing that you want to do is you want to look at your expenses. Maybe if you have been using a debit card or a credit card, go back and look at your statements. How much have you been spending every single month on those things? Add it up. Figure out, what have I been spending? You can't really start until you know what you have been doing and what your averages have been. For me, we used a budgeting program before, so it was simple for me to go back and look and just look at that category. But you can go back and look at your bank statements and see, how much have we been spending at the grocery store, at Target, all those quick little runs to the store. Now, if you don't have that available to you, or you don't have access to that, maybe you were using cash before and you have no idea where your money went, a good place that you can start is $100 per person in your family for groceries and consumables. So for us, we're a family of 4, so I try to spend no more than $400 every single month on groceries and consumables. Now, if you're somebody who's been spending thousands of dollars a month on those things, this might freak you out a little bit. With proper meal planning, shopping sales, things like that, you can totally do this. So if you have looked at your numbers and you are already spending that amount or less, first of all, my hat's off to you, yay. If you want to even cut back even more, maybe start with just cutting back $50. So if you are a family of 4 and you've been spending $400 a month, try $350 this next month and see if you can cut it back even further. So I'm gonna go with the example of $400 a month. So what I would do is I would go to the bank weekly. Now, you might be somebody that you can do this once a month and you are totally free to do that. However, for my personality, I would get tempted by looking at next week's envelopes and pulling from those envelopes. So I would rather just do this on a weekly basis, so that, yes, I do have to go to the bank more often to pull the cash out, but it's saving me from, sneaking money out of one envelope for the next week and then freaking out when that next week I'm completely out of money. So I am going to put at the top of this envelope, I'm gonna write groceries, and this is gonna be my groceries household products, all that kind of stuff envelope. So groceries. Then I'm gonna write at the top $100. $100. And then I'm gonna put the $100 cash in here at the beginning of the week. Then what I'm gonna do is every time I go to the grocery store, I am going to write down what my total was, and I am going to pull the money, the cash, out of this envelope to pay for it. So let's say I went to Costco, and that week I somehow managed to stay good at Costco, and my first trip was $60, let's say. So I would write $60 Costco, and then I would write my balance next to it. So I went to Costco, I had $100, I spent $60, now I have $40. And I would put the receipt inside this envelope, and my remaining $40 would still be in this envelope for my next time that I go to the store. And then maybe next time I went to Target, and at Target I spent the last of my $40. And so now I'm gonna have my Target receipt in the envelope. It's gonna say $0, and I'm gonna have nothing in here. But this way you know exactly how much you have left to spend, and you also know what you spent it on because you have your receipts in here, and it keeps you kind of accountable to that. So that would be your groceries envelope. I know a lot of people that like categorizing it out even further, so maybe they have a like food item envelope, and then they have a consumable non-food items like paper towels. For me, it's too much for me to track, so I would rather just have one number, it comes out of one envelope. Basically, all of our household necessities comes out of this envelope. Then, the fun money envelope. I like just writing the word fun because it tricks my brain into thinking, instead of saying like extras or whatever, to me, I like the word fun. So, this is gonna be your fun money, and this is really, the number that you're gonna pick for this is gonna be based on your personal goals. For your family, you know, you might be in a season where it's slim to none fun money. You also might be in a season where, you know, maybe for the next couple of months you can do a little bit more, and then you'll have to scale it back. You get to decide that. But what is the fun money? Fun money is non-essentials. Anything that's non-essential. It could even be something from those stores. Let's say you went to Costco and they had a really cute purse, and you really wanted it. That would come from your fun money because that's a non-essential. That would not come out of your family's grocery budget, even though you got it from the same store. So that would come from your fun money. This would also include like a family outing if you wanted to go to the movies as a family or go out to dinner as a family. You're at the store and your kid wants a toy or anything extra. Now for me personally, I don't have a separate budget for gas for our cars. I know some people that do that. The purpose of a cash envelope system for me is to try and rein in my spending and, you know, prevent me from those little purchases that aren't necessary. For me, I'm not like, oh my gosh, I'm really tempted to go get gas in my car. I really need to rein that in, right? So for me, I don't need a cash envelope system for gas. So I don't include that. Maybe you do, and if you do, totally do it and rock it out. For me personally, this is just gonna be to help rein in some of those extra expenses. So same thing, fun money. Maybe I decide that weekly our family is allotted $40 fun money. And so we start off with $40, and then one day we go to McDonald's and all of us go and we spent 20 bucks. And so I would write down $20, my new balance is $20, and I would write down McDonald's, and then I would put my the rest of my change in here along with my receipt. So same thing. So a question that I'm sure would arise is, what if I go to Costco and I get a cute purse and I get my groceries? What do I do then? I would separate it into two separate transactions. So it's a little bit more work for the cashier, but put on a smile on your face and be super friendly and nice, and I'm sure they won't mind, to say, can we do this in two transactions? I would do one with your grocery budget and then a separate transaction with your fun money. And that way you have two separate receipts, and you're not having to pull from one envelope and sharing, and then you get confused and, you know, maybe it gets thrown off a little bit. Another question that I'm sure is going to arise is, what do I do if I have money left over? So if you have money left over, let's say in your fun money, you had $40, you spent $20 at McDonald's, and then you had $20 left and you did not spend that. It's okay to take that $20 and carry it over for the next week. So let's say then the next week you had $40. Well, now you have $20 from the week previous, so now you have $60, and you guys can do something a little bit nicer or go on a day trip or something like that. So it's okay to pull from week to week if you have extras left over, but what you don't want to do is start borrowing from the future, because that's when it can get to a slippery slope. So that is a super simple cash envelope system. I have these in my purse at all times. Because they're so flimsy and they're in your purse, they might get a little raggedy, and you don't want, you know, them to start ripping or money falling out for sure. So I stick mine inside of my planner just because it's flat and it keeps them a little bit nicer. Another thing that you want to take into account is if you live with somebody that you share expenses with, and let's say this time they're going to go to the store, they need to take this envelope, so they can't run to the store and use their card. It's a household effort. Otherwise, that's when you're going to go above budget. Things are going to slip through the cracks, and it sort of becomes, there's no purpose to a cash envelope system if somebody else is also using their card. So if my hubby is going to go to the store, I will hand him the envelope and say, here's what's left in the envelope for this week. Make sure you use this and stay within that. You can also stick coupons, if you have coupons for your stores that you're shopping at, in the envelopes. And that way, when you go to the store, you have your cash and your coupons all in the same spot. So that's it. A cash envelope system, easy enough to follow every single day so that you have abundance for the things that truly are important to you in your life. I hope it was helpful. If it did, please like the video and subscribe so you can see more.